often certainly when we talk about business pitching, they're asking for huge sums of money, perhaps even more than, their mortgage. We see the likes of people asking for 500,000 of years worth of hard work. And it really is that moment where their life depends on it. That's how they see it. So with that, you've got all these mixed emotions of fear, and that, their life is resting on this one moment, and that's why you see the beads of sweat dripping. And you can often find them, out the back behind the curtain, having anxiety, difficulty breathing, because there's so much, obviously, been one particular pitch where somebody is investing, or they're pitching to an investor for say 5 minutes. You would have people are crafting their pitches way too soon and thinking, right, yes, let's put a pitch together and let's go out there. Yes, they've practiced. And it is something that you can learn. You can really learn to practice your pitch and to be confident and to overcome difficulty. Just feeling confident in yourself and warming to the crowd that's out there.
Well, I know there's quite
you going to pitch in front of, or to, because at that moment you could be pitching to a tech investor. And it's with anything. You have to create and craft your story before you go on stage. I fly to Barcelona in a few days. I'm speaking on a world stage. And I have to suddenly go out there and tell why I've created the World Mentoring Foundation and take them on a journey, my journey, to show my credibility. Their life, their blood, their sweat, their tears into creating this business. They're not saying why it's sustainable. They're not saying how it's scalable. You've got to think global, and it's all these little prompters that really do. You're there to win over an investor, and that's what it's about. So how can I impress the investor? Having very realistic projections. It's the number one point that really turns investors off, is seeing way overinflated figures. So, for example, if you've shown that you've got to justify that. You've also got to be credible with your facts, your figures, and back up any claim. In Barcelona at the World Mobile Congress, I'm going to be having all the slides of the Telegraph newspaper and all the press that I've had. How can you show credibility? How can you convince the person that you're pitching to that you can actually deliver on what you've said in this pitch? Because talk is cheap. And I think that this is where a lot of people go wrong. They learn their lines, but give me evidence, give me some, show me your credibility of how you are going to be here in the next 5 years. But the biggest mistake that people make is that they are pitching too soon. We need to show proof of concept that your idea is solid. It's not going to be
already.
Exactly. It's not going to be outdated, and that you believe in one, and it's having that belief. And the investor, when you're standing up there, they need to see that the most important thing. I think certainly these days with a lot of these pitching shows, how I've done quite a few of the pitching for investment shows, that these days you get like 5 minutes or 2 minutes or 30 seconds to pitch your business or your idea. You need to make sure that you're not left cut off with your most impressive, brilliant slide.
And it's
I think the other thing, of course, is that people do need to prepare and practice with their presentation, because up there and getting the position of where they're going to be, it's all things that can actually make you falter on the day. For some reason, I didn't like being on the left, presenting some big film awards, and I just go out there and I say, "Good evening, everyone. I'll be joining you in a few minutes' time." And then I go off, and then I've broken the ice. Their mouths are trembling, their cheeks are shaking, and you can see it. So if you go out there and say, "Hello everyone, I'll be back in a minute," whatever you can get away with, because that's not acceptable. Of course, we're talking about pitching for investment today, but this applies if you're going to do a sales pitch, to a retailer, to win over business. It's all the same. You need to dress appropriate. Your fringe could be coming down, you're on stage, and you keep flicking your fringe and things like that. So I think you have to have a dry run. Clients that I work with, we might do 6 sessions on going to pitch for £1 million.
Wow.
But it's a successful.
Don't worry.
Thank you, Chrissy.